right, this is the Lion and the Lamb. I'm going to teach it to you in the key of A. And we have three main chords. We have an A, we have a D, and an E, and then we have a B minor and an F sharp minor, okay? Make sure to stop this video right now. Check out the description below because I have the printable chord sheet for you to be able to follow along with me. Makes it much more easy for you to understand, believe me. So in the first verse, we're going to take a look at A chord. A, C sharp, E, and it makes this triangle shape. A, C sharp, E is an A chord. Okay, then we have a B minor. We're going to pick up our B here, D, F sharp. That's a B minor. Kind of makes this swooped down curve. Then we have a D, D, F sharp, A. Then we have, and that makes kind of a triangle too. Then we have an F sharp minor. Okay, that has a F sharp, A, C sharp. And then back to our E, E triangle, E, G sharp, B. Okay, to review that, we have our A chord, triangle, B minor, D. You can play it up here or you can play it down here. It doesn't really matter. That's what is really fun about chording, is that you can kind of do what works for you. F sharp minor, and then E, and then back to a D, and then back up to an E. So that kind of covers our first verse. Okay, so all that to say, there's really a lot of simplicity. So normally I teach myself how to learn inverted chords, which makes a lot more sense if you don't want to be hopping all over the keyboard. But for the sake of teaching you the most basic way to play it, honestly, learning them in the root position, which is what I'm doing, is a lot easier to understand kind of how chords are formed. So that's kind of why you're going to notice my hands are kind of going all over the place versus the way I typically play with a band is I'm inverting chords, and it's much more simple down the road. But if you're a beginner, stay here with root positions. Okay, so if our right hand is going to play our chords, our left hand's just going to kind of camp out with single notes. And like I said, this is a really basic tutorial. It's not going to have any melody lines. It's just going to be a basic way for you to jump in and play these songs, okay? A to A, okay? B to B, B minor to B, D to D, F sharp to F sharp, E to E, and D to D, okay? So the rhythm that you can do, you can kind of find what works for you, but typically I like to just kind of play like da 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 da, and kind of like a marching rhythm. And you'll notice that it's kind of, for the most part, together, right, together, right, together, right. Or you can kind of go da 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 da, just a 1-to-1 ratio where you're just playing two hands together. And if you have a way to fill in that melody with a band or your instrument or another vocalist or another instrument kind of picking up the melody line, you can get away with not really doing much. So that's how I'm going to teach you this first verse. The chorus is just going to change the way in which you play the chords. So don't get into thinking it's this complex thing. It's just going to start out with an A. Our God is the Lion of Judah. Okay? He's roaring with power and fighting our battles, and every knee will bow before him. Okay, so you can just go through that with just that 1-to-1 ratio. And then the bridge is B minor, B in the bass, B in the upper hand here. And who can stop A? The Lord Almighty. To the D here. And who can stop the Lord Almighty? And then back up to that E. And then you can kind of repeat that. Who can stop the Lord Almighty? D. And who can stop the Lord Almighty? And then you go back into the chorus. Together, right. And God is the Lion that bum, 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 for the most part, works pretty good. All right, I'm going to play it top to bottom. I know that's kind of like a broad overview of how to play this, but you can go back and watch it over and over. And like I said, if you are printing out these chord sheets, it's going to make a lot more sense to you when you follow along. And we'll have all the chords written above, all the notes written above the chords when I play it, so that way you can kind of have an easier way to follow along with this. So enjoy. He's coming on the clouds, kings and kingdoms will bow down, and every chain will break as broken hearts declare his praise. For who could stop the Lord Almighty? And our God is the Lion of Judah. He is roaring with power and fighting our battles, and every knee will bow before him. And our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains, and every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb, and every knee will bow before him. So open up the gates, make way before the King of Kings. The God who comes to save is here to set the captives free. For who can stop the Lord Almighty? And our God is the Lion of Judah. He's roaring with power and fighting our battles, and every knee will bow before him. And our God is the Lamb that was slain for the sins of the world. His blood breaks the chains, and every knee will bow before the Lion and the Lamb, and every knee will bow before him. And who could stop the Lord Almighty? And who could stop